So hello and welcome to the 7th Annual Disability and Civil Rights Roundtable. I'm Prianka Nair. I'm the co-director of the Disability and Civil Rights Clinic with Sarah Lorr. We're really happy to have you with us here today and really grateful to be able to come together even at these very unprecedented times. I think community is especially important at these times of isolation. And so we're so grateful to all of you, our keynote speaker, our participants, our facilitators, for coming together to talk about things that are really important to this community at this difficult time.
And I'm just going to sort of join the brief welcome and say, we chose the theme this year, Persisting in Crisis, in hopes that this would be a place for members of the disability community to talk about how we've survived, coped, managed, organized, advocated, and otherwise sustained themselves and ourselves throughout this tumultuous year. And we also envision this to be a place where we can actually come together and brainstorm strategies for pushing the law and our community forward. So we hope that it is such a space, even on Zoom. We have a few ground rules just to keep us kind of organized.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So a few notes about today. We're recording just the first part of the event, including the keynote address. This is also a rather large Zoom meeting, so we ask that you please keep your microphones muted unless you're actually speaking. If you want to contribute or have a question, please use the raise hand icon. If you're having any technical issues, you can either contact events@brooklyn.edu or the number is 718-780-7966. We'll put that in the chat. This is also information that should have been included in the reminder email that you received yesterday afternoon. If you're in a breakout room and you're having any problems, you can come back to the main room for assistance. And so, as I said, we're going to put that information in the chat. And so with that, I will turn the floor over to Dean Michael Cahill to open the 7th Annual Disability and Civil Rights Roundtable.
Good morning, everyone. It is a real pleasure to be here with you. And as Priyanka just noted, this is the 7th Annual Disability and Civil Rights Clinic Roundtable. Not coincidentally, 7 years ago was 2014, which is when this roundtable's namesake clinic was created here at Brooklyn Law School following a generous grant from the Taft Foundation, about which more in a moment. And in those 7 years, the clinic has enrolled over 100 students and has served several hundred adults with intellectual disabilities and their families in proceedings in state court, in federal court, in administrative proceedings, in offering referrals and technical support, truly providing service to many people in a very important way. This clinic has been a thriving success and is really a perfect exemplar of what clinical legal education is all about. Satisfying the twin goals of offering hands-on training to students as they develop into lawyers, and just as importantly, helping satisfy and serve the legal needs of groups and populations whose needs might otherwise be unmet or neglected. It has been really one of the jewels in the crown of our clinical program, which just celebrated its 50th anniversary last year. So on its 50th birthday in 2020, it is recent additions like the Disability and Civil Rights Clinic that make clear that at the ripe old age of 50, our clinical program is mature, but showing no signs of its age otherwise. It is just as vital and as vigorous as ever. I am happy to spend this moment basking vicariously in the glow of this clinic's success, but it is only appropriate that I acknowledge and attribute the true sources of that success. And there are really two sources that have been key to this clinic. First, of course, is its internal leadership. We would be very lucky to have one director as talented and dedicated as either of the two co-directors of this clinic, Sarah Lorr and Prianka Nair, whom you have just met if you did not know them already. It would be a stroke of good fortune to have a single director like either of them. We are truly blessed to have them both leading this clinic in its 7th year. Alongside that internal strength, of course, the second source of this clinic's success is its external support. This clinic's creation and its ongoing success are due to the support of the Taft Foundation. And I need to single out Howard Rothman, who I know is here, and Joan Rothman, who I believe may be joining us from the Taft Foundation. We are excited to have them here for us today, and we cannot thank them enough for their support, although I'm happy to try. And I am happy to have this occasion to thank them publicly for the generous support of the Taft Foundation. And to thank Nina Burshadker, the executive director of the Taft Foundation. We really owe it all to them and are proud and grateful for this relationship. Let me also take a moment to thank Karen Porter, whose name I see here, who has been serving for just over a year as the law school's first Associate Dean for Inclusion and Diversity, a position that is named in honor of our former faculty colleague, Arthur Pinto, and his partner, Stephen Boland, who made a very generous gift to support our diversity and inclusion related efforts and initiatives. Karen is also, and as importantly for today's proceedings, the executive director of our Center for Health Science and Public Policy, which is the co-sponsor of this annual roundtable. Finally, let me thank all of you for being here. To have the participants that we have, which is a wide array of Brooklyn Law School graduates, students, attorneys, social workers, educators, self-advocates, service providers like mental hygiene legal services, disability rights advocates, the NYC Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program, the AHRC, parents, and others. We are thrilled to have all of you here with us. And we have a wonderful group of facilitators here to lead the small group breakout discussions that will follow shortly. So many thanks to all of you for your support, your assistance, and your expertise. Without further ado, I am sure none of you joined at 9 in the morning to hear me. So I will detract you no farther from the main event. My only responsibility remaining is to introduce our very special keynote speaker, Janice Bartley, who is a self-advocate, educator, and activist. She works for AHRC of New York City, training support staff to work with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. She volunteers with the Self-Advocacy Association of New York State, doing community organizing and education. And she has founded a group, Self-Advocates and Police Violence, working to support people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, speaking up about policing. We are absolutely delighted and honored to have her joining us today to kick off the roundtable. Without further ado, Janice Bartley, take it away.
All right. Hello, my name is Janice Bartley. I have been involved in self and speaking up for yourself and others for a long time. I am not only a person with a disability, I am also a woman and a Black American. All of these issues affect me. This past year has been very scary and emotional. Besides dealing with the coronavirus, I was saddened to hear about more and more senseless killings of Black people by the police. The death of George Floyd hit everyone like a ton of bricks. When my fiancé Sean and I listened to the details of how he died repeatedly on the news, it was heartbreaking. Sean got so emotional about what happened that he had to somehow get involved. I am always worried about his safety. He kept talking about writing a letter to stop the violence. I saw that he was very passionate about this matter. I thought Sean needed ways to channel his frustration and anger. As I was trying to wrap my head around what happened, the words of Martin Luther King came to me. I have a dream. Janice Bartley has a dream. My dream is to end police violence against Black human beings. This subject has been on the back burner for a long time, but what happened to George Floyd has made it come to the front. I am always advocating for other meaningful subjects. I would like the opportunity to advocate for change and let it be known the Black lives of George Floyd, Eric Garner, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Emmett Till, Oscar Grant, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, and Ahmaud Arbery, all Black human beings who have died in police custody in America. Sean and I would love to be out with others protesting, but it's not safe for a person who has a disability who may be extra vulnerable to the virus like me. I know many of us would be out there protesting if it was possible, but there are other ways to be an activist from home. The vision that I imagined for the Stop the Violence campaign was that this would be an opportunity for advocates and other allies to discuss the issues of police violence and systemic racism towards Black bodies. I came up with some ideas for how self-advocates could get involved and make a difference and make their voices heard from home. First, make calls. Rallies and marches are effective if they get the attention of someone with the power to make a change. This is sometimes called the target of the campaign. Use your voice to contact them directly, either by phone, personal email, mailed letter, or even Twitter. Second, learn about the issues. If you're interested in an issue but can't go to the rally, spend some time learning about the topic and the groups organizing the event. Spend some time on their websites and sign up for email alerts. This way you'll be in the loop when there's another opportunity that feels like a good fit for you. Share what you learned and have conversations with your friends, family, and people from your programs about why you care about the issue. Movement building happens one person at a time, and one-on-one conversations are a great way to support issues you care about. Third, get active on social media. Look for groups and organizations on social media that share your beliefs. You can repost and promote their work and engage your own online community around the issues. Share action alerts, news, and other updates. You can also use hashtags when they're trending in order to join the larger conversation. After the Black Lives Matters protests this past summer, my fiance Sean and I started a group called Self-Advocates and Police Violence. The group is a chance for self-advocates and their supporters to work together and talk about systemic racism. For many self-advocates, there were already opportunities to advocate on disability issues, but we made a space for people to advocate around issues affecting other parts of themselves. We have had discussion groups and letter writing groups to work on advocating towards local police departments about what Black self-advocates and their supporters want to see change. We can all find spaces in our own work to support Black self-advocates and others. Let's come together to get justice, make change, and use our voices to speak up for all of the people who've lost theirs to police violence.
Thank you so much, Janice. It was wonderful to hear from you and to hear the very important points that you have raised.